So how was the fat?
It was good, sir. For MTM, no, sir.
Yeah. Our subject,
Yes, sir. It
machining.
was
Good,
good.
na?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, so maybe today also we'll make the introduction. So, okay, once again, good morning to all the students. Few students they are old, so they knew our the process, and a few students are of course new. So maybe I think 15 to 20 maybe maximum. Otherwise, all are old students. Okay, so today also we will talk about the only the background part we will cover. So we will talk about the metal forming theory and practice. So of course, when we are talking about metal forming theory, so if we go to the content, so one chapter we have the theory of plasticity, like what is the plastic deformation and the elastic deformation. Almost you have covered, I think, in strength of material. The plastic deformation probably maybe some hints. I think you have already got in some earlier subject. So we'll talk about theory of plasticity. Then we'll cover the fundamentals of metal working, why we are going for metal working, and what is the basic significance of this metal working. And then all the some process, like these processes are actually the secondary process. So of course I will explain you what is the primary process and what is the secondary process, and we will cover about the secondary process of forging, rolling, extrusion, then sheet metal forming. And then after that, we will cover the unconventional forming methods. And then we have some contemporary issues, like we'll make some guest lecture what we have done in the previous semesters. And if we'll go to the detail of the module, so theory of plasticity, we'll talk about the hydrostatic and deviator components, then flow curves, yielding criteria. Then we'll talk about the slip. I think these are also you have, I think you learned in material science and technology in the beginning of your semester. Apart from this, I do not know, maybe in strength of material, I think you didn't have. Of course, we will cover, small things, because this is every module has 6 classes only, 6 lesson. So I will try to cover everything, like small portion we will cover. And then in fundamentals of metalworking, we have to classify the forming process, what I just told, the primary and secondary process. And then we'll talk about the mechanics. Of course, we will do some numerical again in this course, because I felt, apart from the theory, also we have to cover some numerical, because these are good. You have to learn for the application side. Okay, so if theory, I think, not so interesting, because normally as an engineer, we have to learn about the practical experience, right? Or the application part, or application oriented. And then we'll talk about the temperature in metalworking, also what we have discussed in machining also, like, when we are machining, how the temperature is affecting. So here also, when we are making some metal forming or metalworking, how the temperature is generating there and how it is affecting to this system. Then also some metallurgical structure also we have to cover, because when, for example, if you have making some metal working, whether this is rolling or forging or extrusion, how the metallurgical the structure or the morphology, how it is changing, from one part or one area to other area. Then also we'll talk about the friction and lubrication, then deformation zone also, in that particular zone, how it is changing, and that also will cover. Then the workability or the residual stress, these are also will cover. Then in forging, also we will cover, what kind of how we are classifying that forging, then how we are using the die, then what are the defects we are getting, and what kinds of forging methods or the applications are there. And then also how the powder metallurgy, because that is one much more important here also, when we are talking about the metalworking, because nowadays these are, when we are talking about the multidisciplinary, the powder metallurgy also coming to the forging side. Okay, and then we also will talk about some forging defects also there. Similarly, when we are talking about the rolling, we have to talk about the classification of rolling, like rolling mills, what kind of in classification also we have to show how many rolls are there where we are using. Then we will talk about the hot rolling, cold rolling. Then also based on this also we'll make some numerical. Of course, in all the module we have maybe 2 or 3 numerical we will make. Little longer numerical, but we can do it. Okay. So in module 5 also similarly we have the extrusion. So we will talk about the classification of the extrusion process. Then we'll talk about the equipment. Then again, what kind of the extrusion, for example, the wear drawing or the rod drawing, that one also will cover. And then the defect also will cover. And in sheet metal forming also we have to talk about the sheet metal. Whenever you are looking, for example, in the lorries. Some sheet metals, long sheet metals, these are coming. So we'll talk about the blanking and the coins, actually the blank coins actually we are preparing, that also from we are getting from the sheet metal. Okay, shearing, bending, then stress forming, and these are also we will cover. And at the last we have to talk about some defects also. And then in the last module, unconventional forming method, here we'll talk about the, apart from the rolling, forging, extrusion, and sheet metal forming, we'll talk about the unconventional. Like in machining also, we have talked about the conventional machining and unconventional machining. Here also we'll talk about the explosive forming, then also the powder metallurgy forming, fine blanking. Okay, a little higher side. Whenever we have some, why we are going for unconventional? Because if we have some deficiency in conventional, then to overcome that one, we are going towards unconventional forming, right? Then last we will talk about, or we will maybe arrange some guest lecture, whether some, last time what we have done, one practical oriented we have done, then one theoretical. Okay, so theoretical means research oriented. So here also we'll try to find out maybe some both. Of course, we cannot cover all the rolling, forging, extrusion, practically we will try. Okay, and of course we will conduct one research oriented guest lecture, so that also if some students they will be interested in future, maybe also they can follow. And there are the basic textbook actually for this. We have the mechanical metallurgy, George E. Dieter. So this book you can find. This is a little, for me, when for new student it will be little tough, but otherwise when you will read, it will be easier. Okay, and in that book, normally when we were studying actually. So this book only we were following. But nowadays, if you'll find the syllabus, apart from this Dieter also, another some books are there. But just I am recommending this one you can follow, George E. Dieter. Okay, so maybe in future it will be good for you. Okay, this is the best book whatever I have studied. Okay, then apart from this, the assessment you have already known, and this is for the new student actually. So we will make two quiz, quiz 1, and this is 10 mark, and the quiz 2 also 10 mark, and one I will give the digital assignment. This is also 10 mark. Okay, and the percentage from the 10%, 10, and this total we have to make it on 100%. And cat 1, cat 2, fat, these 3 but only the internal marks or the CAM what we are calling. So we'll make maybe last time what we have done 3 quizzes we have made it. So from 3 best 2. Okay, so this time also we'll make like this. 3 quiz we will make. So best 2 you can we will consider. Okay, but one digital assignment. And for digital assignment, I'm again requesting you because a lot of students just only were copying. So only few students, I think maybe roughly 10 students you are doing from your side. Only I will request to the student who are sharing the report to other student, do not share. Okay, who is copying, that is a different thing, but who is sharing, this is not good. Okay, so because sometimes what happen when we are evaluating, who is copying actually he is getting more mark than if you compare from whom who is sharing. Okay, so at least do not share. When you are sharing that, you do not think that you are doing a good job. And sometimes the student they are questioning, sir, we are helping the other student. Why? If they have the question, they can ask the teacher or the faculty. Okay, so do not share this again. I have the request. Okay, otherwise again we have to stop the digital assignment. We will make the 3 quiz, and out of 3 we have to consider. Okay, so digital assignment is good because why we are giving one assignment, because at least you can think something. Okay, because rather to write, because if I will give something new, then you have to think, then you have to write. Okay, so to check your analytical skill, that's why we are giving. But do not copy that one. This is not because you are in end of the 3rd year, right? So do not go to that side. At least whatever you wrote, or whatever you think, you can just write in that page, and then you can submit. Okay, so this is from my side. So if you have any question, you can ask me. Anyone, if you have any question, you can ask. Is it comfortable, the assessment? Yeah.
Yes. So everything will be on Moodle or MSPS?
Which one?
Quiz 1, 2, and digital assignments.
Yeah, everything will be in Moodle. The quiz also in the Moodle, then digital assignment will be also in the Moodle. The same thing we are just following. Okay, so maybe Nihar, I think, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, everything will be in Moodle only. Okay, but maybe I do not know if when it will be the physical, then we have to check the instruction. Then only we will tell. But now up to online, we will make it Moodle. But if offline also, Moodle will be best, I think, because you have maybe in the class time probably we cannot do. Maybe in the any time in the evening time we can make it fix the timing so that you can do from your hostel or from your home also. It is possible. But if you are taking, I do not know whether we are allowing laptop to the class. If you are allowing, then you can do in the class time also. Okay, so we have to check. But now online is because we do not know. Everything will be online now for to the next information. So we'll conduct in Moodle only. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other?
Thank you.